I think that all this alien extraterrestrial shit, I mean, it's fun to dig down there, but
Hmm.
I mean, I think it's a big distraction. I don't know if it's meant to be some type of a controlled op, but I think it is. I think all this stuff is spiritual. That's what I think.
Of course it
I
is.
think all this stuff is spiritual. All these things that people are seeing and stuff. I think there's a spirituality component to it. Now,
That these are angels and demons, or
yeah,
what?
pretty much.
Yeah.
And and where was I going with this? And
So to his
anti-gravitic propulsion systems. I mean, yeah, I think we. I mean, I would hope that we have shit that is next generation stuff. That's not the same shit we've been using since World War II. I think that all the
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Demayim in Atlanta, and you just saw a clip there from the Tucker Carlson show, and he's got this guy Sean Ryan on there, and he's speaking of the so-called aliens, and he's saying it's just a big distraction, which it is, because that's a huge lie that Esau made up about the angels and the chariots of the Lord. It's just a fraud. It's a lie. Those aren't aliens or extraterrestrials or UFOs, UAPs. Those are the angels of the scriptures, and it's all throughout the Bible. And Esau, trying to bring confusion to the Bible, has called them aliens. In which, in a way, you can call them aliens, but those are truly the angels. And the Lord controls both the left hand and the right hand, so who's to say that left hand angels can't have chariots as well? And I've heard Tucker Carlson mention the same thing in the past, too, that the chariots are actually spiritual and not some aliens or extraterrestrials as we've been told to believe. And they're both right on that. And those chariots, they're coming to bring a reward to this place, which is fire. This place goes out, and that's why it's being seen more and more often. They shall enter into the house of the thief and remain in the midst thereof. And so this is going to be talked about more and more, and there's going to be more and more chariot sightings all the way up into the great and terrible day of the Lord. And then in the kingdom, we'll be riding around in chariots as well once we get those new bodies. But let's go and prove his point that these are the angels. This is Psalms 104 and verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. And it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see. The Lord's coming back with a ton of what the world calls UFOs or UAPs, but they're the chariots of Israel, the chariots of the Lord. And sometimes they're called clouds, sometimes they're called chariots. Zechariah calls it a flying roll. 2nd Esdras 13 says it's a mountain. Sometimes they're called whirlwinds. They go by different names, but all in all, these are the chariots of the Lord. It says, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, so showing flight as well. But here's the point. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. Those are the angels that they were just speaking of, and what the world speaks of when they talk of UFOs and UAPs. Those are angels. And you even see old pictures from the Dark Ages and Middle Ages and stuff, and even before, showing little chariots in the sky, especially in religious paintings. You see these things. From there, let's go to Isaiah 45 and verse 7. because he mentioned alien, or not alien, Salakia. He mentioned angels and demons. So that's showing both hands. The Lord is complete balance. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, and the Lord controls both sides of the coin. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light, so showing a positive, and create darkness, showing a negative. That's both sides, right and left. Left. I make peace and create evil. Another juxtaposition showing both sides, light, dark, north, south, east, west, so on and so forth, male, female, both sides of the equation, peace and evil, which are bad times. So you have good times and peace, and you have bad times with the evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. He controls both sides of the coin. And so they were somewhat right when they were saying that it's a big hoax, because Esau puts out his own stuff as well, and he's been controlling the narrative of this topic. And so it is a big distraction until it's really there, in which, yes, the chariots are here. Just this past weekend, there's probably, I don't even know how many chariots we saw with a fellowship with the brothers. It was an amazing time seeing that many chariots and that amount of time. It's just chariot after chariot. And they're going to enter into the house of the thief and remain in the midst thereof. They're going to be here. This USA, Babylon the Great, is the place where you see and have the most chariot sightings from any place in the world. They are here because this is the house of the thief, which is Babylon the Great. The thief being Esau, Edom, so-called white men, including the small hatters. Those are thieves. Everywhere they live is stolen. They were assigned Mount Seir, but they don't dwell there anymore. This is Psalms 91 and verse 8. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Now, pick this one out because reward can be shown on both sides. So let's check out the word in the etymon for reward. It says, what also sometimes punishment, recompense for evil doing, the sense of sum of money in exchange for capture of a criminal or fugitive, but just deserts, and then sometimes punishment or recompense for evil doing. The Lord is coming to reward his servants of the elect with positive things, but he's coming to reward the wicked with negative and terrible things. So reward can be used both ways. In this culture, we normally think of it as a good thing. You always want a reward, but that reward could also be negative. Going back to him bringing up angels and demons on both sides. And those chariots, depending on who they're visiting, their reward could be either way. It could be a negative thing to where they think it's a demon, or it could be a positive thing to where you understand that it's an angel of light. But the wicked are going to receive a very terrible reward, one that no one wants, which is the destruction of their kingdom and being pulled out of power. The wicked are the Edomites, by the way. And the righteous are going to receive new bodies and receive power over the other nations. And so you can see the reward on both sides. Psalms 91:8. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. So him saying that they're angels and demons is correct, and that the government is basically saying something that they're not. Him saying that it's spiritual is correct. These are the angels of the Lord, and the angels could be on the left or the right hand side, and those are the chariots. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.